Hey everyone, so today's video is again going to be like a vloggy talking video. I posted my gamma knife procedure day video a couple weeks ago now. And I got a lot of questions pertaining to what it was, why I had it done, what it was supposed to do, what exactly they did, all that sort of stuff. So I thought that I would go ahead and answer those FAQs in this video. Okay, so first things first is, why did I have it? I don't know if you guys have been watching me since last summer, but on June 17th last year, I actually had a brain hemorrhage or a brain bleed or a bleeding stroke or whatever you want to call it. I mean, not whatever you want to call it, but there's a bunch of names for it. What the heck is this hair doing? I don't know. So essentially what happened was I got a really bad headache. I refused to go to the doctor. Finally, my mom pretty much forced me to go, and it turns out that a bunch of blood vessels in my brain had exploded, and they were causing, obviously all the blood was like rushing into my brain, or not my brain, but like my head around my brain, and it was causing a lot of pressure, and the blood mixed with the natural cerebral spinal fluid, which is in your head, was causing so much pressure that I was literally, according to the doctors, 20 minutes to an hour maximum of living, and then I would have been dead. So high five for doctors saving me. Once that happened, I spent all summer in the hospital. There was a bunch of videos posted, and I've been posting update videos. So essentially, because of where my AVM was located, my cerebellum, which they can't operate into, it's inoperable basically, they told me that the only way that you can do anything about it is to have a gamma knife procedure. And they explained to me that what they do is they take a metal frame, they place it over your head, they use screws, and they screw it into your skull in the front, like right here, and then also in the back. So that does leave 4 holes. I know one of the questions was, a lot of people were saying, do you only have 2? No, I had 4, 2 in the front and 2 in the back. And they create an entire like program for you. They do all these tests, like CAT scans, MRIs, angiograms, to locate exactly where it is, get the perfect dimensions, and they place you into the gamma machine, which looks just like a CAT scan or an MRI machine. It's like a bed that you lie on. There's like a big tube around you or a circular thing, and you slide into it. And obviously the bed moves, you don't just like magically slide. What it does is it shoots 210 different lasers at your brain, which is terrifying. One laser on its own doesn't have a great effect, but when doesn't have, well, any effect basically, but when all the lasers combine, they can like make a little explosion of whatever it is that they're touching. So for me, obviously they had it aimed at the AVM, the blood vessels that had exploded originally, to cauterize them so that they wouldn't bleed again. Now my option was either have a gamma knife procedure or die, basically, because I am so young, and like there will be a rebleed because they had self-clotted the first time. So it's just a matter of time. They told me, I can't remember if they said by the time you're 30 or 30 years at the most, but something about the number 30 was involved in my lifespan, and I was like, yo, I'm 22, I'm gonna die when I'm 30, what? So obviously I got the procedure done. That's what it is. Obviously the healing is going well. You can see a little white mark, and I have makeup on right now, but you can see a bit of a bruise around it. Same with on that side, except I have my little baby hairs there. But like I said, I have makeup on, so you probably can't tell. It probably wasn't a great idea to do this video wearing makeup, but it is what it is. Yeah, so it didn't leave very big scars. I did, however, have a pounding headache for a very long time. And that was not fun at all. I also had, when they give you the freezing, which obviously they freeze the places with just local anesthetic so that you don't like feel them screwing into your brain. The freezing that they put in there has to drain out of your forehead, and I had the same reaction when I had my original brain surgery last summer, was that when the freezing drains, it is, you know, it succumbs to gravity, and gravity pulls it down. So obviously from your forehead, the next place is your eyeballs. So my eyes are super swollen. I inserted a few pictures before. I'll put some new ones in now. So those were all pictures of me with my swollen face. I didn't really have any side effects other than the swollen eyes, obviously the headache, which was expected, and also I do have some bruises around where the incisions were, so if I like press on them or whatever, it does hurt. The eyes being swollen, it was annoying, but I wore sunglasses for like a week, and that was that. I did wake up with my eyes swollen shut almost every single day, but it did go away. And after my eyes got swollen, the bridge of my nose was the most prevalent part of that. Like, I guess not really the most. It was the only part that you could see that was swollen. I didn't have a bridge of my, well, I had a bridge of my nose, but there was no, like, you know, like it gets thinner and then thicker and then it goes in your eyeballs. Mine was, it was just like a line of like, you know, the bridge of my nose went out to like here and then my eyes started. It was very strange. It was not invasive at all, which is good. They don't just use Gamma Knife for AVMs. They can also use it on brain tumors. I know there was a guy there at the same time as me getting it done, and he had brain tumors that they were zapping to get them gone. It's mostly just really uncomfortable. The pain that occurs, I guess, when they put the frame on your head is a lot worse than anyone could possibly describe. The nurses were like, oh, it just is a little bit of pressure. And I feel like unless you have this done, you don't really know how it feels. And it's going to feel different for everyone, so keep that in mind. But for me, it literally felt like I'm trying to like think of a good word to use. You stood there and got one friend to each pull on an arm, you'd feel a certain amount of pressure, right? That sort of pressure, but it's coming from 4 places, so it just feels like they're tearing your bones apart, which obviously it's not going to tear your bones apart. Your bones are really strong, but that's what it feels like, and it's a very strange pain. It's not like, you know, piercing and the freezing stops you from feeling the actual screws going in, but it doesn't stop the pressure from happening, which is the part that is most painful. Now, out of all the things I had all day long, they told me when I got my frame put on my head that would be the most painful part. And once that was done and your head got used to it, you were fine. Like, and for me, it was probably about 20 minutes of like pure pressure, and then my head got used to that amount of pressure and it was fine. It's like, you know, you wear shoes that are too small and they hurt, but after, you know, half an hour, whatever, your feet are used to it and you get over it. My head, I guess, got used to the pressure until they took it off, and then it was like, whoa, it was like, oh, here's a good description or analogy, I guess. When you put in a ponytail so tight and you feel like you have a ponytail bruise, do you know what I mean? A ponytail bruise. I just call it, I don't know what the technical term is, but I call it a ponytail bruise. And you take it out and you're just like, oh, but it still feels like your hair is up even though your hair is down. Ponytail bruise. That's what it feels like. The amount of pressure, the frame comes off and you're like, oh my god, thank god it's gone. But then you're just like, whoa, it still feels like it's there. Why is it hurting? It's very strange. So anyways, like I said, that was supposed to be the most painful part of the day. However, it wasn't, only because of me, not because of me, because of a nurse, but not because it would be this way for everyone. I actually have really hard veins to find. It's almost next to impossible to find them when they need to give me, like, take blood or give me something or put IVs in. It's next to impossible, and I've, like, since I can remember, they've always been like, you know, digging around searching for veins. It's just not good. So the lady had asked me, you know, what type would you prefer it in? And obviously I prefer it in my left hand. Not to mention, this is the arm that doesn't have as many issues finding the veins. But I had an MRI the week before, so my arm was bruised. So she was like, no, we'll do it in the other one. So she did it in the other one, didn't put it in properly, hit the vein, but didn't go in deep enough, I guess. So during the CAT scan and the MRI, well, it happened during the CAT scan, but during CAT scan and my MRI, for what I had done, they give you what's called contrast dye, which actually goes into your veins, illuminates all of your veins and your arteries and your blood vessels, so that they're, like, obviously illuminated, so that they're bright, so that they show up better on the pictures, which is exactly what they need for something like locating where an AVM is. So she actually wanted to give me the contrast dye for the CAT scan, and the pressure of the dye going in pushed the needle out of my arm, and all the dye went into my arm instead of into my veins. So it was all in the muscle, all in the tissue. My arm was super swollen. It was like double the size of its normal, you know, size. It was so painful, and that was the only thing that sucked. Then they ended up giving me another IV in my other arm. Anyway, so by about 8:30 in the morning, I'd had 10 total needles, 2 defined IVs, or 2 defined veins, 4 IVs, and I had 8 total for my anesthesia, 2 are anesthetic, 2 in the front, 2 in the back, and then 2 more and 2 more for long-term freezing. The first 4 were short-term, and the last 4 were long-term, so that it would stay frozen as it was healing, so it wouldn't hurt as much. So that's pretty much that. Apparently, this procedure can take, you know, anywhere from 6 months to 4 years for the vessel to completely disintegrate into nothing. Hopefully it goes on the quicker pace, and in, you know, 6 months I'm good to go. I don't feel any different than I did before. I actually do have less headaches, which probably is just a mental thing, because I used to get really dizzy all the time, all that sort of stuff. But it doesn't happen that much anymore. It's probably just a mental, because I'm, you know, I'm like, okay, it's all done, it's over with. But I don't know if that, you know, they didn't say that would happen or not, so I don't know. I do, obviously my voice, a lot of people have been saying that it's getting a lot better. I still get the random comment that's like, ew, your voice is so ugly, what the hell? Like, fuck off. Dude, what do you want me to say? Like, thanks for pointing out something I can't fix? I don't know, it's just, people are dumb. So, yeah, but other than that, I think that's pretty much it. I have some side effects on my hand, which are normal, and they were because of the surgery last year, not because of the gamma knife procedure. So I'm gonna try to get my friend's boyfriend to be in a video with me, because he actually had a gamma knife in like May, so not too long ago, for an AVM that they found when he was a kid that hadn't exploded yet, and mine obviously had exploded. So I don't know if the procedure went any different, if he needed different things like testing before. I have no idea. So I'm going to see if I can get him in a video one day. So I'm going to see if I can do that, but he doesn't know yet. And I don't actually know him. So there you go. I just know my friend, and I know that her boyfriend had a gamma knife, and I know that I sent him a picture of what I look like with my frame on my head, and he sent me one of him. So I hope that this was kind of helpful. I hope that if you're having this surgery, all goes well. I guess not surgery. Well, it's considered a surgery, but it's just a procedure. If you're having this and it goes well, if you had any questions, this is what... hopefully this answered some of them. I will talk to you guys later. Have a fantastic day, and yeah, bye.